computer. It's funny, last time I told it to record and it didn't start recording until about 15 minutes in. So if you watched the last video, it was not the best. But hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Wednesday night. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully. Sure. There we go. Slideshow. Start from beginning. So last time we called this Nutrition and Health. This is now Nutrition and Health 201. So we are in the master's level program of optimizing our bodies. So, go back one. I apologize. There we go. So, hey, just to introduce myself, my name is Dustin Holston. I'm a certified nutritionist. Got several certifications from a number of agencies. I actually started in business. I guess that's the crazy thing. I have a master's degree in business from Osborne University in Huntington, West Virginia. But ever since, middle school, and Travis can attest to this, I was a small dude, like really, really small dude. And so my dad started putting me in working out and stuff in our basement when I was 14, 15 years old to try to give me a little bit of size and be a little bit more competitive in sports, which I wasn't, unfortunately. But I was always good off the bench if you needed me. But so I've been around it forever and really started helping people in college in the early 2000s. And even though I was an executive for a number of years and things like that, I always had the nutrition business in the background. I incorporated about 10 years ago. I actually have my NPI, which means that I have malpractice and I'm certified and legitimate. I hate to say it that way, but there are a lot of coaches out there. You got to watch. There's going to be a lot of people on Instagram and Facebook that'll take your money that has absolutely no certifications and no legitimacy. But I have built my business over the years to be pretty big, and it's been a blessing for me and my family to be able to work from home and get people insane results. So I coach over 650 people in the Transformation Challenge for First Form. I also teach classes on nutrition and supplementation to trainers all over North America for First Form. So people like Margaret and other coaches, they'll jump on my calls and learn a little bit about some higher level nutrition and education. Margaret actually was a winner in the Transformation Challenge in 2019. She's been featured in advertisements and videos and all kinds of cool things. She is one of the coolest people I know and super duper shredded. Like, I'm jealous because my genetics aren't as good as hers. But she's also a fantastic transformation coach. And if you have her, you are extremely fortunate. I have the utmost respect for Margaret, and I know she's going to give you all insane results. But here's the deal, guys. We can't do it alone. We can give you all the tools in the world, right? And I know we are. I know that we're giving you all kinds of tools and we're helping you along the way. But you gotta do it yourself a little bit. So last time we talked a little bit, we kind of based the whole call on what I called my 7 pillars of accelerated weight loss, right? Water, we say to drink 100 plus ounces a day. That's going to help reduce water weight in our body because our body holds on to water when we're dehydrated. It's the opposite thinking, right? We don't drink, we hold on to water. When we do drink, we get rid of water, right? So we also know through optimization and through clinical studies that 1 gram per goal body weight is optimal for getting that toned physique you want. It's going to optimize the metabolism. It's going to help you potentially grow more lean muscle. We're not talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger here. We're talking about, sexy lean muscle, look good in the bikini muscle. And we're going to help with appetite suppression and a ton of other things. We know that increasing activity is going to help us, right? Resistance exercises are the best at actually burning fat. Believe it or not. I know everybody's like, hey, I'm going to do cardio. I want to tone. I don't want to get all bulky. Well, that's not how resistant exercises work. When we do resistant exercises, we're actually burning fat, and we're also building more lean muscle, which actually causes our metabolism to increase. Gut health. One of the things that I think that science has been behind for the last few years is gut health and how important it is. Guys, we absorb everything in our gut. Our gut's considered our second brain. Whether it's the vitamins and minerals that we pull out of the food we eat through the bloodstream in the gut, or it's protein and carbohydrates, whether it's blood sugar regulation, all of this, immune system, even serotonin levels in the brain all come from the gut. If we can optimize our gut health, we're going to reduce water weight. Ladies, I know I'm not a lady, but I will say you all get bloated really, really bad because of a variety of hormones that I don't currently have. So, or at least I don't have much of. although I do tear up occasionally when I watch a Notebook. But because of these hormones, you all do bloat up easier. Focusing on gut health is going to help you with water weight, help you absorb the micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals in your food better, and help you with weight loss, actually increase the metabolism. Micronutrients, vitamins, and minerals. We think calories, calories, calories. We think protein. We think keeping sugar down and eating healthy fats. But guys, micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals that we eat are the oil of our engine, right? We think of carbs, fats, and protein and calories as the actual gasoline that makes us go. But if we don't have oil, then we're not going to run right. Micronutrients like iodine are essential for thyroid function, which actually creates the powerful fat-burning hormones T3 and T4. And, chromium helps with blood sugar regulation, vitamin D, vitamin C, all these vitamins play crucial roles in fat burning. So it's important that we make sure that we are eating a variety of fruits and vegetables and whole grains, or we are taking a quality multivitamin like Microfactor. Stress management. There's this damning hormone called cortisol, and it's a butthole. And when cortisol is elevated, cortisol is our fight or flight hormone. Let me rephrase this. Cortisol by itself isn't bad. It's supposed to be on and off, though. Like, hey, a saber-toothed tiger is attacking your kid. You need cortisol to get you pumped up and potentially fight a saber-toothed tiger. If you are trying to fall asleep and you can't sleep and you have chronic inflammation in your body, you're having asthma, you're having even diabetes-related issues or poor gut health, inflammation's high, cortisol will be high. Cortisol causes fat storage. So we want to make sure that we reduce stress and do everything we can to reduce chronic inflammation. When we talk about hormone, we had some people drop off and then jump back on, so my bad. With hormone optimization, we look at a variety of hormones. We look at, let me make sure I mute everybody. Sorry. Maybe. All right. Hold on a second. All right. If you haven't muted yourself and I couldn't figure you out, I'm sorry. Oh, come on, Dustin. All right, so hormone optimization. We want to make sure that we're optimizing insulin. Insulin is the most anabolic hormone, which actually means it helps create muscle. A lot of people don't know that. However, for most people, insulin creates body fat, especially around the waist, around the hips. And so if we can reduce our sugar consumption or refined sugars like white bread and white rice and little Debbie cakes and everything that tastes amazing, we will actually optimize our weight loss and actually help us with our metabolism. Estrogen, guys, we need estrogen. Both men and women need estrogen. Unfortunately, we have a habit of brewing too much estrogen. Unfortunately, one of the biggest contributors to estrogen is body fat. Well, guess what estrogen also does? Creates more body fat. So it's actually a vicious cycle. We see people who have increased estrogen levels increase their body fat, which increases more estrogen levels. So it's literally a perpetual issue. How do we do that? We lose weight, we work out, we watch for trigger foods like phytoestrogens, which are like soy-based estrogens, and there's a few other supplements that we can do. Testosterone for men and women are super important. We're not talking about making women look like Rambo, but if you do optimize your testosterone levels, optimize, not so crazy, you'll see more weight loss, you'll see more toned figure, you'll see better results. So, and then obviously for men, it's super important for cognitive function, motivation, all kinds of other related issues. Thyroid function is another one. We got to make sure we're giving our thyroid what it needs. It needs protein and iodine. Believe it or not, those are the two chemicals that the thyroid needs to actually create T3 and T4 is L-tyrosine, which is an amino acid for protein, and iodine. We actually don't use iodine for any other reason in the body other than thyroid function. So if you do have underactive thyroid and you're not on medicine, you should probably increase protein and increase iodine. I actually only use table salt that has iodine in it to make sure I'm getting enough iodine, and a multi. First call summary. Let me see. My screen's all screwed up, so let me fix that. All right, so real quick, calories are a unit of energy. In humans, we get our calories from food and drinks we consume. Calories are not necessarily bad. Calories are calories. We need calories to survive. So it's not like calories are actual bad. Calories are made up of macros. Now, technically, there are 4 macros. fats, carbs, protein, and alcohol. Alcohol is technically its own macro. You'll hear people say alcohol turns to fat or alcohol turns to carbs. That's not true. Alcohol is alcohol. Fats have 9 calories per gram. Carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram. The problem with alcohol is our body really doesn't use it for any positive reason. We use it for energy alone. There's no like hormone optimization like you can with fats and carbs. There could be some benefits, fiber from carbs or whatnot. With alcohol, we typically just use it as energy or we store it as fat. Now, keep in mind, there's a difference between the macronutrient fat and adipose tissue. Adipose tissue is what we call fat in our body, but technically has almost nothing in common with the food we eat that are called fats. 2 different things, and it's terrible that we call it the same thing. That's why I try my best to say adipose tissue. If you actually cut off a piece of adipose tissue, you would actually find that there's actually some protein inside of adipose tissue. Now, it is predominantly fat. Protein isn't just for muscle. We hear, and I think this is the fault of years of bad marketing. If you're old like I am, in the 1990s, you saw every jack bodybuilder on every single cover of every single magazine holding a big tub of protein saying, hey, if you want to get jacked like me, you'll take this protein powder. Well, guess what? Unless you take steroids or you have phenomenal genetics and you're eating more calories than your body needs, that's the only way our body stores energy. When we say stored energy, it could be body fat or it could be muscle. You have to eat more calories than your body needs to actually store a lot of bulky muscle. So protein itself doesn't do that, right? So we need protein for hair, skin, nails, bones, cartilage, enzymes, hormones, and muscle. So a lot of different things inside our body. When we set protein, we set it at 1 gram per goal body weight. Now, this is because clinical studies, and it's funny, I have a good friend, actually, Margaret has, and JC Everett at First Form, he likes to try to sound fancy, and he's always like, literature tells us that 1 gram per goal, and it's just funny. Like, I expect him to be smoking a pipe or something and having reading glasses when he says literature. But anyway, clinical studies show that around 1 gram per goal body weight is optimal for fat loss and toning. So there has actually never been a study, this will blow your mind, at least it did with me. We know that protein can turn to fat. We know there's a biological process inside our body for it to happen. However, no clinical study has ever shown it. They made ladies eat, 200-pound ladies eat 400 grams of protein a day, way more than they would ever suggest doing. They gain no body fat. They gain muscle and they gain new ligaments and cartilage and bone, but they gain not a single ounce of fat. Crazy study. We've looked at it from a variety of sources and we've never been able to prove protein actually turning into fat. So, but I'm sure you've heard that protein's dangerous or bad for your kidneys. Sort of true, only if you're chronically dehydrated. If you drink 100 ounces of water a day, your body's going to flush the protein, no issues. Now, if you know you have kidney issues or you already have kidney failure, then obviously that much protein may or may not be good for you. Make sure you talk to your doctor. Oh, and real quick, I am a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. So everything I say here is based off of clinical studies that I'm sharing with you. Obviously, talk to a doctor if you have any specific questions. Your metabolism, when we talk about metabolism, everybody thinks, oh, it's your thyroid's the biggest driver of your metabolism, or how much, how active you are daily or whatnot. We actually find that muscle for most people is the biggest driver of their metabolism. 1 pound of muscle burns 10 calories per day. So if you have 100 pounds, like we'll say Margaret, she probably has 100 pounds of muscle. And because of that, that's 1,000 calories of metabolism that she has every day not moving because of the muscle she has. So the more muscle you have, lean, sexy muscle you have, the more calories you burn. It actually makes fat burning easier. If you have less muscle, you're not going to be burning quite as many calories. Now, our thyroid does burn around 200 calories a day. Our activity, when I say activity, I mean walking, talking, things like that, probably burn 500-600 calories a day. But our muscle is the largest percentage of that. Now, if you're running 5Ks every day, then maybe extra activity is the biggest driver. But when we talk about resting metabolic rate, how many calories you burn each day just chilling, it's your muscle. Obviously, we talk about this a little bit: gut health, hormone optimization, resistance training. And when I say resistance training, it doesn't have to be free weights, it doesn't have to be machines. It can be resistance bands, it can be body weight exercises. All of those work phenomenal at creating and potentially creating new lean tissue. Now, I will say, Mo, if you can look at, if anybody has any comments, I can't see comments on this screen. So if you can look and see if there's comments and just interrupt me anytime one pops up. Okay. Screen share sucks. All right, so today we're gonna have a variety of topics and we will have a question and answer at the end. So we're gonna talk about how to count macros. We're gonna talk about net carbs. We're gonna be talking about specific gut health and weight loss studies. We're gonna talk about stress, cortisol, and weight loss. We're gonna talk about further weight loss optimizations, things you can do after you have the primary things down pat. We're actually gonna talk about how to grow lean tissue, like lean muscle, help you get that further toned look for men and women. We're going to talk about how to stay on track when eating out. And we're going to talk about supplementary results. And we're going to finally talk about how to get noticed in the Transformation Challenge. The photo you see there is a good friend of mine and client, Pat Fernandez, who lost 23 pounds in 8 weeks and became Uber Jack Dad last year. So, why is it so important to track macros? Well, here's the deal, guys. I don't know what you're eating unless you track your macros. And really, you don't know how much you're eating. When I say how much you're eating, I mean calories, protein, carbs, and fats that you're actually consuming if you don't track your food. Now, obviously, Margaret and I would love for you to have the premium version of the Transformation app because it gives us the opportunity to see your food every single day. We can log in and say, hey, good job, Jessica, way to go, or great job, Jamie, or maybe you need to look at, increasing more veggies for gut health and micronutrients. We can make those suggestions to help you get those awesome results. But you got to track because we have no idea what to do if you don't track. Guys, this is one of my pet peeves as a nutritionist. When somebody pays me a ton of money and wants me to coach them and they say, hey, I had a bad week, I don't know what I did wrong. And I say, well, I just logged into the app and you didn't track your food. Oh, yeah, I forgot to track my food this week. I can't help you. I don't know where to start. I have to have something to start with. So you got to track your food. And when we talk about track, it means anything and everything that you eat or drink. We got to have it accurate. Now, I understand it's tough. I understand it's annoying, especially if you do, your own recipes where it's, a handful of spinach and a quarter cup of cucumbers and 4 ounces of chicken and vegetable oil and all this stuff. I understand. You're literally having to track every single food. And that's tough and it's annoying. I understand. But what is your goal? Your goal is to get into the best shape possible. I can guarantee you, Margaret tracks her foods. I can guarantee you that my best clients track their foods. You got to track your foods. And that's not me being a DICK. That's just me saying that it's that essential for you to do. So with the Transformation app, you can go to, with the premium, you can go to the nutrition page and do macro calorie counting, and it will let you add food to every meal. It will then subtract from your goals. Now, granted, your goals come from I'll start over a little bit on this. So when you sign up for the Transformation Challenge, and you can edit this at any time, it'll ask you like what your goal weight is and what your current height and weight is and what your activity. I would suggest everybody changing their activity to sedentary, unless you're a bricklayer, unless you're a roofer or somebody that's putting in 20, 30,000 steps. We're a little bit more lazy than we think we are. Maybe lazy isn't the word. We're just not very active. I mean, I work out every single day, but I'm also behind a desk 90% of my day. I'm sedentary. I do not consider myself active. The problem with the app is if you do have a high activity level, it's going to make you eat more calories because it thinks you're burning more calories. And more often than not, it might be a little high. So I always tell people to start off sedentary. And if it seems like it's too few calories, then you can adjust. The other thing about the app is it's your optimal weight loss goal, not your goal in 8 weeks, not your goal in 6 months. It's your optimal goal. If you have 200 pounds to lose, then you want to put what 200 pounds off of your current weight would be. This way it factors in the amount of calories you need to be lean and toned at that weight. There's a calculation-based factor. If you say, you know, I had a client recently, she's 260 and she wants to weigh 240. And so the app was telling her to eat 3,000 calories a day. And she was confused. And I said, look, it's going to help you get to 240, and then it's going to help you maintain to stay at 240, not necessarily help you keep losing. And so she was like, oh, well, my goal is 150. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you need to put in the app. It's not 8 weeks from now. It's, you know, a year from now, or whatever it may be. Now, granted, if you have less than 40 pounds to lose, maybe that's a 6-month goal. If you have more than 100 pounds to lose, then that's a year goal. But that's what you want to do. So by using the app, you're going to be able to calculate how close you are to your goals on your calories. Now, keep in mind, calories and protein are the two most important things when it comes to counting macros. We can optimize it later with fats and carbs, but for the most part, if you stay under your calories and you hit your protein goal, you're going to get phenomenal results. Mo, you have anything to add to calorie counting?
Nope, you're on it. I think you hit it all.
All right, that gave me just enough time to, I literally just worked out before this, so if I'm hyped up, it's because of pre-workout. What are net carbs? So I am not the biggest fan of counting net carbs, okay? And I think it gets us in trouble. And it's like, keep in mind, we normally do net carbs in keto. So if you're doing keto, the whole idea is there's certain carbohydrates that shouldn't affect blood sugar. And since they're not affecting blood sugar, they probably won't kick you out of ketosis. Now, for some people, sugar alcohols, which we're getting ready to talk about, will kick people out of ketosis. It's not everybody, but for some people, they do have an insulin response to it. So I always tell my clients, if you're going to do keto, do true keto. Count every carb you're eating, even if it's fiber, even if it's sugar alcohols, for at least 3 to 6 months, testing regularly to make sure that you stay in ketosis, and then experiment with increasing your net carbs or increasing your carbohydrates so that you have a net carb shortage. So when we talk about keto, typically we're eating 30, 40 or so carbs a day or less. And so the idea is we're making our body stop using carbohydrates as an energy source. So we start using what's called ketones, which are a form of fat, so to speak, in our blood that gives us energy. Our body can either run off one of two things, either carbs or ketones. That's it. And it can't run off both at the same time. That's why with keto, you can't have cheat meals, because if you do introduce too many carbohydrates, your body goes through this kind of water in the gas tank scenario. It starts seeing some glucose in the blood, and it's like, hey, I don't know what to do. I'm running off ketones. Now I see carbs, and that's where you start having flu-like symptoms. So if you're going to do keto, start off with total carbs, keeping them around 30 or 40 at most. And then after you've done it successfully for 2, 3, 4 months, then you can experiment with some of the net carb benefits, you know, higher fiber foods, higher sugar alcohol foods, things like that. Now, you don't have to listen to me. That's just my tip. Oh, actually, I wanted to. This is Kim Mooney. Kim Mooney in 2017 lost 151 pounds in 364 days. She went from 301 to 150 on the dot in 364 days. She roughly lost a pound every 2 days. She did keto, and she did keto really, really well. It's not for everybody, but it can be a phenomenal way to optimize your body if it's something that you want to do. The thing about diets are you got to be able to stick to them. It's got to be sustainable for your lifestyle. For Kim, it is. All right. Gut health has been directly linked to obesity. It actually has been directly linked to malnourishment in children also. It's kind of interesting how we can actually have some children get obese from the same gut bacteria that makes another child be malnourished. We see this a lot in Africa, where we have children who are super malnourished. Even when they start being introduced to food, their body doesn't absorb it very well because of how horrible the gut biome is. So we have good gut bacteria and bad gut bacteria raging a war inside of our gut. Obviously, as Americans, we have a ton of bad gut bacteria. Unfortunately, oils and refined carbohydrates are fuel for bad gut bacteria. fiber is pretty much the only fuel for good gut bacteria, and we don't typically eat much of it. The other way of getting good gut bacteria is to add good gut bacteria, and we get that from fermented foods, kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut, Greek yogurt, things that I may eat 3 times a year that you should eat 3 times a day for optimal gut health. So my favorite study is called the twin study, and I think I mentioned this last time, but if not, bear with me, or if I did, bear with me. So this study had 2 twins, or a set of twins, and one twin was overweight and one twin was underweight, but they were biological exact twins. And doctors annexed the gut biome of each one and injected it into 2 rats. They were brothers from the same litter. They were brother rats. And so they gave each rat the same exact diet. And one rat gained weight exponentially fast, and one rat didn't gain any weight. And what it was is the rat that gained all the weight had the same gut biome as the obese twin. Unfortunately, our food just doesn't digest better or well when we have poor gut health. We don't absorb the vitamins and minerals and proteins and such like we should. We cause insulin-related issues. Our body will have more blood sugar-related issues when we don't absorb food well. We also absorb more fat, things that we absolutely don't want. I could tell you as a bro, gut health was something I never worried about and really didn't realize how bad my gut health was until I started working on correcting it. 5 to 7 servings of veggies a day plus 3 servings of probiotic-filled foods will get you there. I can promise you I have 0 clients that can do that right now. Every single one of my clients use OptiGreens 50 because it's 10 servings of veggies plus 1 billion CFUs of probiotics. So when you hear CFU, it just means colony forming units, just a way that they measure bacteria in the body. So the other thing is cortisol. Cortisol, the stress hormone we kind of talked about earlier. If gut health is bad, there's going to be inflammation in the lining of your digestive system. That inflammation will actually cause cortisol to increase, which causes more fat storage. So we're being a detective, Margaret and I, when we look at what might be affecting our clients, we're like a detective with a serial killer leaving clues. And one of the clues is poor gut health. We see poor gut health, even if they're eating the right protein, taking the right vitamins and minerals, they still may have weight loss issues, have trouble losing weight just because of poor gut health. We talked about cortisol a little bit. It's the fight or flight hormone. It's a good thing when we need it. You're fighting off a burglar. It's going to free up some energy to allow you to perform better. We hear stories about grandmas lifting cars off kids because they're all juiced up on adrenaline and things, and cortisol being released to help them do that. However, we typically have chronic inflammation. This is from the foods we eat, high in omega-6s and omega-9s, low in omega-3s, more carbohydrates than we probably need, which causes our body to have inflammation in the joints, in the lining of our digestive system, in the lungs. If you have asthma or you have a chronic cough, you're actually suffering from inflammation in the lungs, which will cause cortisol to go up. So you can actually, like me, if you have asthma, which I almost died 2 nights ago. I know I sent it to Jamie. She thought it was funny. She thought it was funny that I almost died. Nah, I'm kidding with her. Yeah, I was doing death by squats, which is every 45 seconds do. So the first set's 2 reps. Second set's 4 reps. Next set, 6 reps. So it's every 45 seconds. And I made it to the 9th set of 18 and I completed it. And then I got dizzy. And I was like, oh crap, this isn't good. And I haven't had a real bad asthma attack in over a year. So I didn't even know where my inhaler was. I freaked out. I went outside. It was like 10 degrees. And I'm like, my wife's on the treadmill, not paying attention. And anyway, this is actually a true story. And but anyway, I found my inhaler. I lived to tell another. I was listening to Fade to Black by Metallica. And that was the funniest thing, was the fact that literally I was fading to black while dying. So anyway, even having asthmatic issues can cause cortisol to be elevated in the body. Getting adequate sleep, optimizing gut health, eating omega-3 fatty acids. We get those from fresh caught fatty fish. All will help reduce cortisol levels in the body, which will help you with weight loss. And again, damn you, previous. Weight loss optimization. This is my girl, Stacey Callahan. She lost over 100 pounds in 1 year working with me. I think that was 2018, might be wrong. So, when we talk about optimization of hormones, there's so many things that go into that. But the first one's regulating blood sugar. Like I said earlier, insulin's actually the most anabolic hormone, like more than testosterone. Insulin has the ability to build more lean muscle and actually get inside the muscle and cause it to be bigger. However, insulin for most Americans is abused, and it ends up contributing to weight around the fat around the waist. And so if we can regulate our blood sugar, and what I say by that is if I'm not active, I'm at home, I'm at my desk, I shouldn't be eating chips, Little Debbie cakes, things like that, even though I've been eating a lot of Aiden's animal crackers lately. But things I shouldn't be doing. Because if I'm not active and I'm spiking blood sugar, the only place for that blood sugar to go is to fat. I don't have room for it anywhere else. We can make room, and when we make room, we have room in our muscles. And that's what happens when we work out. We actually create storage for blood sugar. However, we got to make sure that we actually work out, and we don't do that enough. Getting adequate sleep will help with cortisol, will help with recovery, help with ghrelin, all kinds of good things. Staying away from trigger foods. What I say by this is, it's like we know that phytoestrogens, right, soy-based products, can actually increase estrogen levels in men and women. Too much estrogen levels in men and women cause a myriad of issues, but including more body fat. In men, especially teens, it can actually cause breast tissue enlargement. You can actually have men be able to milk themselves, in lack of a better term. So we got to watch out for that. Now, I'm not saying stay away from soy directly. I'm just saying that you don't want to go over your, there's a limit of how much you should eat. There's other foods out there too that can trigger different hormonal response. Some people don't like, nightshades. There's different things that some people just can't do. We talk about appetite suppression and protein, but the whole idea is there's a hormone called ghrelin, and we inherit it from our ancestors. What ghrelin is, and it sounds, and I'm probably with my redneck accent, it probably sounds weird, but ghrelin is a hormone that we get from our ancestors that makes us hungry when we lose weight. So what normally happens is ghrelin peaks about 3 days after you have successfully lost weight. So you started your diet on Monday, then all of a sudden Thursday, you've never been so hungry. Well, you can thank your ancestors for that. It's a trait to keep you from starving to death. So what we think ghrelin was is that back in the 1,000 years ago, you would eat today. You had a buffalo that you killed and your tribe ate, and then you don't have something to eat for a couple of days, and then you've lost some weight, and then ghrelin peaks and says, "Uh-oh, Dustin, you need to find food today. I'm going to make you really, really hungry, so you force yourself to find food." And that's probably what it's for. But in 2021, it's about as worthless as it gets. Unfortunately, it causes us to be hungry, causes us to want to binge eat after a few successful days of dieting. It's a bastard. Micronutrients, we got to make sure we have the right vitamins and minerals for survival. And when we say meeting the minimum requirements for survival, we can't optimize our weight loss or our physique without at least taking care of our basic survival needs. We call it the triage theory, right? If we're not eating enough vitamins and minerals, and we don't have enough, B vitamins or chromium or iodine and things like that, our body's going to focus on those deficiencies before it starts really thinking about letting us optimize our physique. So we got to meet the bare requirements, getting enough sleep, making sure that we're eating enough veggies and fruits, and making sure we're getting enough micronutrients, and making sure that, we're doing everything right. And then we can optimize our weight loss. So how to grow more muscle / burn fat. Now, this is, obviously this is the holy trinity of fitness and health, right? You want to burn fat and you want to grow muscle at the same time. We call that recompositioning, and it is super hard to do. Not impossible, but it is super hard to do because there's a thin line that you got to make sure you're eating enough to create the lean tissue, but also eating enough of the right things to burn fat at the same time. It's not impossible. It's just really hard to do. So if we're going to increase our lean muscle, we're going to have the benefits of being able to burn more calories, because the more muscle we have, the higher our metabolism are. We're going to tone faster, and Margaret can kind of speak to this. because she has so much muscle, when she diets, she sees pretty fast results. This is because she has an optimized metabolic rate. The stronger you will be. The more lean muscle you have, the stronger you will be. Whether you're wanting to be a power lifter or not, that's up to you. But we're just talking about, actually being strong for your size. And the healthier you can be. If we can bring down your BMI, which I think BMI is a joke anyway, but if we can bring it down a little bit, bring down your body fat percentage, bring down your waist ratios, things like that, you're going to live a longer, healthier life. And you're going to be more independent and you're going to be more confident. Margaret, you agree with all those things?
Yes.
Look how shredded she is in this picture. I mean, look, I'm not bad, don't get me wrong, but Margaret brings the heat in that picture. Like, I wish my legs looked like that.
Okay, but the work it took to get like that hurt real bad. Okay.
It's a fine line, right? I'm just trying not to have a dad bod. That's my goal. So we need two things to create lean muscle. So we actually have to have enough protein in the body to create the tissue. Like we said earlier, literally any structural item inside the body, with hair, skin, and nails, and ligaments, cartilage, bone, teeth, organs, it's made out of protein. If you want something in your body to grow or be bigger, it takes protein to build it. If you need bigger nails, it takes more protein to build the nails. You want longer hair, it needs protein. Ironically, this is actually a good point, ladies, because I know a lot of you all spend a ton of money on the best shampoos and the best conditioners and stuff. It takes protein to actually build the follicles of your hair. Make sure you're giving your body what it needs first before you're spending all that money on things that may make it look better, but it's a Band-Aid versus actually fixing the issue. Vitamins, minerals, and protein are literally the holy trinity of hair, skin, nail health. So we got to make sure we're eating enough protein. And everybody sees people in the gym that go to the gym every single day. They do the same exact workout and they never change their physique. They're doing one thing right. They're doing the resistance training, but they're not giving themselves enough protein to actually do anything about it. So there's three ways to build muscle. And the idea is to do all three. So muscle tension is what you're actually doing, moving the weight. So if I'm bench pressing and I'm putting it from my chest and extending my arms fully out, that's tension. Muscle damage is the actual total effects of working out. So the longer I work out, more stress actually goes on to, muscle stress is a little bit different than what I was going to say, which is listed below, but more damage actually happens to the muscle. And last, muscle stress. And that's when the muscle actually expands from more blood flow. So the holy trinity of resistance training is you want to make sure you're doing enough reps to actually create tension in the muscle. You need to be doing enough reps and sets that you're actually damaging the muscle, not ripping the muscle. We're trying to create little tears in the muscle. And we're also sending enough nutrients to create the pump effect. That's why our veins get a little bit bigger and we're sending more blood flow to the muscle. That is how to grow lean muscle. It's that simple, believe it or not. The problem is most people don't give themselves enough protein. Most people don't train hard enough, and that's where the issues lie. This is a badass picture that I found of my friend on the First Form website, or First Form Instagram. So even though I've never used a kettlebell like that before, I'm anti-kettlebell. I'm kidding.
I don't usually use it either.
But it looks badass.
That was, yeah. When Alex, he made me do like a mini CrossFit workout, and I thought I was going to die. Because I don't do cardio like that. He had me running on the treadmill and swinging the kettlebell. I was like, this is it for me. This is how I'm going to die.
It was funny because I was in some marketing stuff in 2016 and I was with a bunch of fitness models and like, you just saw me in the background. Like my face was just be randomly in the background, like right behind some shredded chick or something. So it was funny. And Alex shot it. So, I blame him. So,
dude, he killed me, man.
All right. So, more tips for muscle growth. You should really do resistance, 4+ days a week. When I say resistance, this is weights, resistant bands, body weight exercise. It's really anything that creates that pump effect that you actually feel your muscles burning. That's going to actually create new tissue. Obviously, free weights are probably the best, but guys, with COVID, I have had clients get phenomenal results from their living room, doing circuit workouts, doing push-ups, crunches, squats, lunges, mountain climbers, kettlebell swings, bicep curls with small weights. Doesn't matter. We just gotta create some resistance to our muscle. We need to eat that 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per goal body weight. That's what we say, 1 gram. Now, there is a protein hierarchy. And so now this is super advanced. This is Nutrition 501. But as a trainer, this is kind of what we look for. So number one, we want you to hit your protein goal. That's most important, because 2 and 3 doesn't matter if you don't hit your protein goal. If you hit your protein goal, you are going to be giving your body what it needs to increase metabolism and help it tone. But you've got to hit the protein goal. If not, what ends up happening is we're going to lose weight, but we're going to end up losing muscle and fat at the same time, which is going to cause your metabolism to crash. And this is why people have to keep cutting calories when they focus on calories alone. You start off at 1,500 calories, then you stop losing weight. So you go down to 1,300, then you stop losing weight. You go down to 1,000, then you stop losing weight. And you say, F this, I'm going back to eating whatever I want. You gain it all back. That's why calories in, calories out don't necessarily work. So we got to hit our protein goal. After that, the next thing you can do to optimize your results, which you would see if you can see me right now, is post-workout nutrition. So in the post-workout setting, your body's craving, unless you're doing keto, your body's craving carbohydrates and protein. So when you work out, you're using muscle fuel, which is glycogen. I call it muscle fuel. It's sugars that's stored in your muscles. And as you're working out, you're getting more and more tired during your workout. Part of this is because you're using your energy stores. After you leave the gym, now you don't have any energy stores, or you have lower amount of energy stores in your muscle. So your body actually needs carbohydrates in the post-workout setting, but it also needs protein. So the faster that we give our body what it needs to start the repair process, the faster we'll start recovering and the better our results will be. So that's why we use the post-workout stack from First Form. Unless you're keto, then you just use Formula One. But the post-workout stack provides a pure glucose molecule. This is like Nutrition 701 now. But the benefits of a glucose molecule is it doesn't go through the liver and it gets digested instantly into the bloodstream. It will spike blood sugar something fierce, which sounds scary, except in the post-workout setting, spiking your blood sugar is a good thing because it causes insulin to send the proteins in your blood, amino acids, and the carbohydrates, the blood sugar itself, to the muscle to start the repair and rebuilding process. When I said insulin is the most anabolic hormone, this is why. If you spike blood sugar after a workout, your body's going to use those carbs and proteins that you have to start the repair and rebuilding process instantly versus waiting. If you went and ate a meal afterwards, you would have to wait until the food digests. Part of it would have to go through the liver for processing, like fructose and other forms of carbohydrates. It'll take hours until it gets to the muscle. So this is number 2. Number 3 is to start eating 25 to 35 grams of protein every 3 or 4 hours. Now, this is more of a bodybuilding style. I mean, obviously a lot of people do it, and I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but this is more what you see with competitive athletes. They're eating their chicken and rice every 4 hours, or their tilapia and rice, or their broccoli and blah blah blah. It works really well. However, my favorite study, they were tracking. They were researching bodybuilders that practice Ramadan, Muslims, and they were tracking a few elite level bodybuilders. Actually, one of which just won the Olympia, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And what they found is even though they were fasting like 23 hours a day and they were only eating one super large meal a day, as long as they hit their protein goal, they still built lean muscle and burned fat, as long as they hit their protein goal, even if it's just in one meal. So hitting your protein goal is that important, that the number one bodybuilder in the world will practice Ramadan for a month, I think. I'm sorry, I'm not too knowledgeable on this. They practice for an extended amount of time. And
it's a month.
A month, yeah, there you go. And he could still win the Olympia, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, while doing it. So that's how important number 1 is. Number 2 and number 3 are just optimizing number 1. But number 1 is like gasoline. Number 2 is like napalm. And number 3 is like an atomic bomb. But gasoline's pretty damn good. So make sure you hit your protein goal. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't mean just like trying to get jacked bodybuilder size. This is just to get toned. These are, when I say muscle growth, just think toned, because I don't want anybody to think that I'm talking about, roid rage or anything crazy like that. Supplements for muscle growth. Guys, it starts with protein. Now, I don't consider protein a supplement. I consider protein let me take it back. Post-workout protein, I consider a supplement. But, when Margaret and I suggest our clients to take level 1, we're not considering it a supplement. It's a meal replacement. It's literally made to replace a meal. It's a 150 calorie meal with 25 grams of protein and low carb and low fat, but it's a meal. And so that's why I don't consider level 1 a meal. However, it's hard to hit a protein goal. It's not impossible. You can do it without protein powder, right? You can eat steak or eggs or tilapia or, chicken or whatever it is, 5 or 6 times a day. You'll definitely do it. Me, I start my day with literally a protein mug cake with bananas in it, 2 scoops of level 1. I'm at 50 grams of protein to start my day. Post-workout nutrition, like we just said, Formula 1 ignition for first form is going to start repairing and rebuilding the muscles almost instantaneously upon leaving your workout. You're going to feel better. You're going to have, if you've never used it before, number 1, it's the tastiest thing in history of the world. But secondly, you're going to feel your energy levels just within an hour of taking it. You're going to be like, wow, like I feel better. And that's because your body's starting to actually refill itself with energy. However, I get this question a lot. Do you count ignition in your diet? Because ignition is actually 46 grams of carbs. It is. And in the post-workout setting, it's really hard for your body to store fat. So that's why you can take advantage of it. And that's why it's literally becomes muscle fuel and actually gets into the muscle that you can use later. However, you still have to count it in your diet. If you're doing a low carb diet and you want to use ignition, then you got to go a little bit lower carb diet so that way you can fit in the ignition. However, when it comes to muscle and recovery, it's where it's at. If you're keto, as my friend Jamie's on, you can, once you've done keto for an extended amount of time, I see you're waving, you can implement a little bit of ignition to see if it keeps you in ketosis. If you start seeing your levels change, then you probably use too much. The whole idea is if you're on keto, your body's really not using glycogen anyway. And although there is some benefit of using a post-workout carbohydrate in keto, the benefit's not quite as much as those of us who are not in keto. Creatine is actually a combination of 2 amino acids. Creatine's another one of those supplements that's been, we'll say, mismarketed over the years. Women are afraid to use it because they're afraid they're going to adjust their hormones. We've heard horror stories about creatine because of creatine, which is a kidney level that we'll see sometimes with being dehydrated or heavy training spike. Not necessarily that related to creatine, so a little bit of relation, but creatine is 2 amino acids together that help store water inside the muscle.
Oh, hey, we have a question here.
Oh, okay.
They're wanting to know if they should track every supplement and everything we take through first form. I vote yes. What do you say?
Actually, Margaret's right. However, I actually don't include, we're going to go over a few of these, but like Opti Greens and Opti Reds have like 7, 8, 9, 10 carbs in them, but they're all.
Oh, I don't track that. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't track.
Yeah, I mean, technically it does provide some calories, but it's literally like because it's from veggie extracts, like literally like the purest form of veggie. So yeah, they provide a little bit of calories and carbohydrates, but to be honest with you, I don't include them. Now, if you're doing contest prep, that might be a little different. I know for Jamie, I have her counting her Opti Greens and Opti Reds, but for 99.9% of it, it's not that big a deal. I take full mega every day, which is rich in omega-3 fatty acids. They, technically they're a fat. And so they, 2 to 3 grams of fat, when you take that as a serving, that's 27 calories. But you know what? I don't count it because literally most likely those 27 calories aren't going to cause me to gain any weight or not see the results I want. Not to mention, man, this is like nutrition 801 now. DPA or EPA, DHA, the omega-3 fatty acids we use for inflammation in the body and lowering triglycerides and raising good cholesterol and lowering bad and cognitive function and eye function, we actually almost don't use for energy at all. It's literally used in the body for different metabolic issues, not necessarily used as energy. So that's why I don't count Omega. I don't count OptiGreens or OptiReds. Your pre-workouts are carb-free, so you don't have to worry about those. But your proteins, right, your post-workout stack, those things you obviously, collagen, you still need to count too. Those are kind of the ones that you need to count. I hope that answered without going too much in the weeds. So creatine's good for men and women. All creatine does is hold water inside the muscle, helps with power output, helps with muscle volume, good things. Now, some people gain weight on creatine, and that's because your muscles are storing water, not your belly, not your ring fingers, nothing like that. You're storing it actually inside the muscle, which is a good thing. If you want water to be anywhere, you want it inside the muscle. And that's what creatine does. Question? No? Okay. I thought I heard something. All right. Amino acids. All amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Amino acids latch together in these complex chains, and that's what actually creates protein. Amino acids can be great for muscle growth. I like amino acids myself. I drink BCAAs, my first form, with my reds and greens before bed. It's a great way to help with recovery. Do you have to have them? Absolutely not. That's fine. No worries there. But they are something that you can supplement with. You know, pre-workouts, when we talk about muscle growth and pre-workouts, obviously there's science, you know, they have creatine in them, or maybe they have amino acids, they have, you know, citrulline malate or betaine or beta-alanine or agmatine sulfate or whatever. There's a bunch of ingredients in pre-workouts, and there are science behind them that say they are great for muscle growth or muscle strength gains or power output. However, most people take pre-workout for the motivation to go to the gym, right? If you work out like me and you work out late at night, sometimes you need motivation. You need a kick in the pants to make sure that you're going to work out tonight. That's where pre-workouts are the best, right? They're going to give you that kick in the pants. Now, obviously, there's different types of pre-workouts. One of my favorites, which I took tonight without, although it seems like I'm all jacked up on caffeine, I'm not, is the new Alpha Surge. Alpha Surge is 100% stimulant free, so you don't get any actual energy from it, but it's straight pump, so it's going to help send more nutrients and blood flow to the muscle to help with recovery and strength gains and size and all that good stuff. So pre-workouts are great. Do you have to have them? No. I would rather you post-workouts more important than pre-workout, believe it or not. And OptiGreens 50, this may surprise you, but with my bodybuilding clients that I have that are eating 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calories a day, OptiGreens is mandatory, right? The problem is whether you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain weight, it's all about how our gut absorbs the food we're eating. And OptiGreens does a really good job at helping us absorb the food that we're eating better. It's going to help you stay, I'll say it this way, who would want to work out every day eating a Thanksgiving dinner every single day? Nobody, right? I mean, that's the most uncomfortable feeling ever, is eating, 6,000, 7,000 calories, stuffing and rolls and mashed potatoes and turkey and ham and pumpkin pie and more pumpkin pie and whipped cream on your pumpkin pie. Yeah, you're not going to want to work out afterwards. Well, my bodybuilding clients are sometimes eating that many calories each day. So you can only imagine that they really don't want to go to the gym, right? Well, OptiGreens is going to help them chew through that food better, help them reduce bloat, and actually help them absorb the food they're eating better. So that's one of my favorite muscle growth supplements that you would never think in a million years is actually going to help that. You have any tidbits on that, Margaret?
No. Mm-mm.
So one thing I should have said, micronutrients, guys. So we need to make sure we're taking a quality multivitamin. I like Microfactor because it's a multivitamin. It's got essential fatty acids. It's got CoQ10 for heart health. If you're like me and you have bad genetics with cholesterol and heart attacks and all that scary things, CoQ10 is like a lifesaver when it comes to things like that, helping you regulate cholesterol and helping with blood pressure. It's got antioxidants. It's got red and green caps. It's got 8 billion CFUs of probiotics. So it's literally a everything in one pack. I suggest that for all my clients too. And again, like I said earlier, before we can optimize our physique, we got to make sure we're giving our body what it needs to survive well. All right. Margaret, you want to talk about out to eat at gas stations?
So I know a lot of my people have been struggling because they haven't done the best with like meal prepping and stuff. So I'm guilty of this as well. So like some things you can do while you're out and about, if you have to, like you can tell when you're getting like foggy or you're losing energy or whatever, and you have to go and you need something then. There are healthy options at the gas station. I usually, if I don't have my level 1, then I'll grab a protein shake from there. They also have like Epic bars or like little chicken bars. Those are really good. They have hard-boiled eggs there. I know it sounds disgusting, but they have them. Grab them. But then if you want like a snack, I always grab pork rinds, nuts, a protein bar. Careful with that though. Read the labels of them because some of them are basically just like a Snickers bar of protein. So be very careful with the protein bars you pick out. Beef jerky is really good, but I know it's kind of expensive. So like the cheapest route would be protein shake and an Epic bar. Now, if you're out at restaurants, for me, this is really important to understand, especially because like with real estate, I have to go out and like mingle and meet people and stuff. So I've had to get really good at this, but literally everywhere you go, you can get grilled chicken and veggies everywhere, literally everywhere. If you're low on your fat grams, grab a steak or some salmon and again, veggies. On here, you put eat as many veggies as possible. Yes, I strongly agree with that. I will eat my weight in veggies if I have to, if I'm hungry. Like I don't put a limit on those at all, especially raw veggies.
Absolutely. And guys, this is important. Actually, with protein bars, I'm kind of with her. There's a lot of protein bars out there that are full of carbohydrates. We call them carb bars because they literally have more carbs than protein. And so how can you call yourself a protein bar when you have more carbs than protein? So you got to watch out for those. I'm not the biggest fan of the actual protein inside Quest bars, but I am a big fan of the calorie content of Quest bars. So you're getting 20 grams of protein with less than 200 calories, where many of the other bars are going to be 300 or 400 calories with about the same amount of protein. So just an idea to help you with that. You know, I eat a lot of pork rinds. Now, with all these gas station and restaurant choices, just make sure you increase your water consumption because you're going to store a lot more water weight due to the sodium content of them. So just keep that in mind. And I would always make sure you take OptiGreens on the road with you because you don't want to start getting bloated because of gas station hard-boiled eggs like Margaret has. I remember there was a commercial. It was like never eat gas station sushi. I can't remember what it was, but when you said gas station eggs, I was like, oh, never eat gas station sushi.
I've done it though. Damn it.
All right, so this is a whole lot of information, but luckily we've gone over most of this. But you know, we talk about microfactor as the best overall, really probably the best overall supplement you can take because guys, here's the deal. When it comes to multivitamins, if you're taking something that's permanently pressed, those are the rock tablets you see, and I'm not picking on GNC, but the GNC is the number one seller of multivitamins, right? Sports multivitamins, maybe Centrum probably is for big box stores, but for sports multivitamins, GNC is the biggest seller, and they do permanently pressed tabs. Actually, hold on, I might be able to show you all something. I'll show afterwards. So I actually have an x-ray of somebody who had been taking a permanent press tablet for weeks and they started having gallbladder issues. And so they took an x-ray of their stomach and they had about 50 multivitamins stuck in their digestive system. So unfortunately with permanent press tablets, what they do is they take all the vitamins and minerals they want in the tablet and they heat them and they permanently press them in a mold, which creates this rock. Well, the problem is humans don't digest rocks. We're not birds. I guess some birds digest rocks. We don't digest rocks. And so what ends up happening is it takes forever for our bodies to actually break down those, if we even do break them down. And aside from that, when you heat something and you mold it into something with pressure and heat, the quality of what's in it gets denatured, right? So our body's not actually absorbing what we think it is. So whatever multivitamin you're taking, you need to take a capsule multivitamin. I would love for you to take First Forms, but if you don't, take a capsule so your body even has a chance at using what's inside of it. But Microfactor has 3 multivitamins in it: CoQ10, fatty acids, antioxidants, probiotics, and reds and greens. If you price out the products individually, it's well over $100. Yes, Microfactor is around $2 a day. It is $60 a month, but for $2 a day, you're getting a hell of a lot of things. You're protecting your heart, you're protecting your brain, you're protecting your gut, joint pain, and all the vitamins and minerals you need. So that's a mandatory for me, something I take every single day. Another one I take every single day, we talked about OptiGreens a couple times today, but literally 10 servings of veggies, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and blood sugar regulators. You want to lose weight, take OptiGreens. You want to gain weight through muscle, take OptiGreens. 70% of Americans have gut health issues. The other 30% don't have optimized gut health. So literally about 100% of people can benefit from OptiGreens. Now, it says it's berry flavored. I don't think there's any berries in it. And I made this joke and I kind of got in trouble on the supplement call with First Form. And well, not in trouble, but anyway, OptiGreens has no artificial flavors whatsoever. And whatever the OptiGreens is the greenest green you've ever seen in your life. And it's because literally that's the color of the ingredients. They don't use any artificial flavors or colors in it. And so I made the joke of all the damn supplements we have, why can't we artificially flavor OptiGreens? Because it tastes like grass. Grass may be better than OptiGreens. I get it. Some people like it. I personally don't. However, it's a necessary evil for me. Like literally, I lose water weight. I lose bloat. My body reacts really, really well to OptiGreens. And if I don't take it for a day or two, I start bloating again. And I'm like, damn, I should have taken my OptiGreens. So that's why I have mine on the 30-day renewal. Actually, I have it on double renewal because there's 2 of us that use it daily. Now, if you cannot stomach the taste, now, I use BCAAs and Reds with mine, and it tastes great. But if you cannot take it, you can use OptiKids. OptiKids is chocolate flavored. It's like kind of a chocolate milkshake. You would have to double up the dose, though.
They have that?
Yeah, OptiKids.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Margaret doesn't have kids. She don't know about this.
How did I miss that?
I don't know. They don't market. This is
the entire time.
This is a Dustin Holston secret, so don't be telling my secrets because we're not supposed to market OptiKids to adults. However, if you double the dosage, you're going to get comparable amounts of probiotics and digestive enzymes. What's cool about OptiKids is it literally has a little bit of protein in it. It's got multiple servings of veggies. It's got probiotics. It's got the digestive enzymes. So if you do have kids that suffer from digestive issues, they're going to like the taste of OptiKids because it is good. It is a chocolate milkshake type flavor. Why can't they do that to OptiGreens? I don't know. But anyway, so double up on OptiKids if you're going to do it. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more expensive by doing it that way, but it is an option to make sure you get what you need. Full mega.
Before you move on to that, hold on. With the reds and the greens, they say to mix it with orange juice and it tastes better that way. But I'm real big on like cutting my sugar content. So what I've done is I'll do my reds, my greens, and then my collagen. And then I'll put a splash of orange Mio in it because it has like less crap in it. And it tastes really good to me. So any fruit flavored Mio is really good with it.
Yeah, I have suggested light apple juice. You know, basically it's a little bit of apple juice with a whole lot of water, but you know, it's not much juice, but it sort of is. And it's pretty good with the greens. I mix mine with BCAAs and Reds at night, and it tastes fine to me. But yeah, Crystal Light, Gatorade Zero, I've heard a lot of different things, but Mio sounds like a good idea that's going to help without adding a whole bunch of sugar. Full Mega is probably the most important supplement you're not taking. 98% of Americans lack the adequate amount of omega-3s they need to live a long and healthy life. Omega-3 fatty acids help with cholesterol, triglycerides, joint pain, helps stave off dementia and Alzheimer's, helps with eye function, helps with chronic inflammation. So you're going to bring down cortisol, you're going to bring down water weight if you bloat easily, and you're going to lose more weight because you're supplementing with omega-3s. Where do we get omega-3s? Well, we get them from two sources. We have plant-based sources like nuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and you have wild-caught fatty fish, predominantly cold water like salmon and mackerel and even sardines are high in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, here's the problem. Plant-based sources and even your grass-fed beef are rich in ALA, alpha linolenic acid, ALA. The problem with ALA is only 10% of it gets used the way it needs to. 90% of it's just fuel. When I say 10% gets used, what I mean by that is it converts to DHA and EPA. Those are the important ones. DHA and EPA are the powerhouses that actually help with inflammation and cognitive function and blood and all that good stuff. We need around 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined a day at minimum. With ALA, you would have to eat 10,000 grams of ALA, which would be almost impossible to get 1,000 grams of DHA and EPA. So we get that predominantly from cold water, fresh caught fatty fish. So we're talking about salmon, mackerel, sardines. And it has to be fresh caught. Unfortunately, if you get it from farm caught, they're fed grains, which causes their omega-6 ratios to go up. And omega-6 is what causes us to have inflammation. So I do suggest full mega. It is not cheap. However, when you compare it to other sources of fish oil, it gives you the efficacious dose of 2,500 milligrams of omega-3s and 1,500 milligrams of DHA and EPA in 2 pills. Much cheaper than eating fresh cut salmon 3 times a week, because that's what you actually need to do if you're going to do it. Level 1, literally the best protein shake there is, especially when it comes to a meal replacement. It digests slow, it keeps you fuller longer. You can bake with it. It's low carb, it's keto friendly, it's macro friendly. It's amazing. If you don't take level 1, contact Margaret and I. We will send you some samples. Chocolate banana is by far the best protein you'll ever have in your life. You can fight me. It is the best. I go through an entire jug every 5 days in this house. No lie. My second favorite meal replacement protein is actually Vegan Power Pro. Vegan Power Pro is extremely scientific in nature. I won't bore you, but basically, most vegan sources of protein are incomplete proteins. They're missing essential amino acids needed for your body. Well, First Form did some science, and they found that brown and pea proteins each miss the amino acids that one another needs. So they actually have the amino acids that each one needs. So when you combine pea with rice, you get a complete protein source. So it is a very, very high quality vegan powder. I actually use it occasionally because it has several servings of greens to it. So if I feel a little bloated or not regular, I will eat a little bit of Vegan Power Pro. Even if you're not vegan, you can benefit from it. Post-workout stack, we talked about that earlier. If you want muscle recovery, lean tissue, you need the post-workout stack. 1DB Fast Pack is one of my favorite supplements to start out with if you are having a weight loss journey. It's 3 powerful fat burners in one of which is actually Opti Greens. And although you may argue it's not necessarily a fat burner, it does help with metabolism and waste removal, so you're going to lose weight. But 1DB and Thyroid Drive are the workhorses. They're actually going to increase your metabolic rate. They're going to give you a ton of energy. They're going to help with appetite and cravings. It's a great way to start your weight loss. I also like 1DB when you hit a plateau. If you need a little bit of extra go, 1DB is going to help you there. Lastly, I am a huge fan of Opti Reds 50. If you have like genetic blood disorders, cholesterol, high blood pressure, COPD runs in your family or anything crazy like that, or blood clots, things like that, Opti Reds are full of the veggies and fruits that are typically red, hint Opti Reds, that are full of antioxidants that are more heart healthy with nitrates and things like that. And they actually do help with the metabolism. But if you're like me and you don't want your heart to kick the bucket sooner rather than later, Opti Reds can be good, and it mixes well with Opti Greens. Margaret, your turn.
Okay. Talking about standing out, I know that was brought up a lot with my people. This should not be like your main focus right now. Your main focus needs to be like obviously your health and your mental health, but staying in the bubble is ultimately going to help you. So get on the My Transformation Challenge Facebook page. They have an official group page or whatever. Get on there, watch a coffee chats, interact, hype up other people, listen to their stories, listen to their whys, just kind of be involved in all of that. Every Wednesday when they do the weigh-in Wednesday post, get involved in that. Put your results on there. Because a lot of the people from headquarters will go through and hype you up and comment on your stuff and like your stuff. And it just snowballs once you get like in the bubble. I like to say drink the Kool-Aid is what I like to say, but whenever you make posts on social media, tag me, tag Dustin, tag First Form, use their hashtags. So there's the hashtag I am First Form, dues paid, we do the work. What are some other ones, Dustin?
My transformation starts today. My transformation challenge.
Legion of Boom. That's one too.
I would say I am First Form's obviously the biggest one. And then the hashtag my transformation starts today. It's probably the second biggest one because they actually, thank you. That's the one that most people actually follow that work with First Form on social media. They look for those tags.
Mm-hmm. And then whenever you're posting stuff on social media, tell your story. Like, go ahead and start telling your why. Tell about things that you're struggling with. Tell about things that you've overcome. Tell about how you're feeling other than just your physical results. Not only are they going to see that, but other people are going to see what you're saying as well. So you could be motivating other people, which essentially is just going to help motivate you even more when they start responding to you and interacting with you. And again, be encouraging to other people. And if you have any supplements that you're using, post about it and explain why you like it and how it makes your body feel. Again, it isn't necessarily about just being seen by the people at First Form, but the deeper you fall into the bubble of them, the more likely you're going to stick with it. You're going to be encouraged more often. You're going to have that support system. So it's very important to dive fully in. Watch the coffee chats on the app. Yeah,
absolutely.
You're going to accidentally learn something really important by doing that.
Yeah. And we know personally the people that's on the coffee chats, and they're some of the best trainers in the world, literally. First Form gets the best people ever, as you know, our friend Jeremy Mullins, who's actually from West Virginia. He's actually in charge of the app. He's a registered dietitian. He does a lot of coffee chats. Sal Frisella, the president of First Form, gets on those too. A lot of good. They have doctors, registered dietitians. They got a ton of good people that work for First Form that share some great knowledge. Also, don't be afraid to tag us. Right. Even if I'm not your coach and Margaret's your coach and you want to tag me, perfect. I'll give you, hey, because that's the thing with Instagram, interactions help with pulling more engagement or whatever. So feel free to tag me and Margaret, and that way we can give you a little bit more engagement. And obviously we care about your results. We'd always love to see it. I will say though, that if you're trying to get recognized by Bucked Up and Blackstone Labs and several other supplement companies at the same time, I probably would prioritize on First Form. I see this all the time. Like, people will do I am First Form, and you click their profile picture and it's like, use my 1UP nutrition code. And it's like, probably not helping yourself at all to advertise another company. And don't hashtag another company with First Form. That's kind of like slapping them in the face. Like, hey, I'm using your app to try to win money, but I'm trying to get recognition from Blackstone Labs. Not a good sign.
Mm-mm. Oh, I do want to say this too. I know it's not about the money. It shouldn't be about the money. But if that's a motivator for you, then whatever, run with it. So something that I did once I decided that I was going to go like all in is, I think I mentioned this on the last Zoom call. I might have, but I took the amount of workouts I needed to do during the 8-week challenge, and I divided that by 50,000, and I put a dollar amount on each workout that I had to do. So when I did it, I was going to do 2 days, 7 days a week. No, 6 days a week. So it ended up being $500 per workout. So I would not let myself leave the gym until I felt like an employer would pay me $500 for my output of energy. So what you put in, you're going to get out. So if you have that mindset and that's kind of a way to measure it, then you're not going to fail.
One other point on that, that's awesome. I'd never thought about doing it that way, is that most people don't win the first challenge they compete in. Now, I know Margaret's special, but for the most part, people compete in 5, 6, 7 challenges, right? Because it's kind of, they look for different things, and a lot of it might be a finished product. And so, for instance, they do a year-round competition, and Charlie Reagan won that. He went from like 250 to 150 and got shredded. Awesome story. He was, he was an engineer, had a big boy job. He was stressed all the time, ate convenience food, found the First Form app, lost over 100 pounds, won 50 grand. So don't think that just because you didn't win or you're not in the hype video that you weren't in consideration, right? They go from, I can't tell you how many thousands of people there are, but there are several thousand people that submit their day one photos. And, they whittle it down to like a top 50. And those are like painfully hard to say which, how is the first place person that much better than the 50th place person? There's not that huge a difference. That's how good a quality of the transformations are. And so, don't give up if you don't win, because it doesn't mean you're not on their radar. Maybe they're like, hey, look, I like Dustin's physique. If he was just a little bit more toned, he'd win the money. If I would have gave up, then I wouldn't have a chance, right? And, same thing with Kim Mooney. When she won, they used to do it a lot differently than they do now. They would do monthly winners of $2,500, and then they would do quarterly winners, and they would do yearly winners. It wasn't a set challenge date. And so when she won, she lost over 100 pounds in 6 months, and she didn't win a damn thing. 100 pounds in 6 months, you're kidding me. Well, then the next month she won. And, she finally made their radar, and she got insane results, and they're like, well, hell, and then she won again for the year round. And so just because of the challenge, maybe you did phenomenal. Maybe you do deserve to be in the top 5. And unfortunately, only first and second place wins. Doesn't mean the next challenge isn't yours, or the next challenge, right? And so don't get discouraged. If you get in the best shape of your life and you don't win money, damn, you got the best shape of your life, right? I mean, like, why complain? That's phenomenal. So, all right.
Yeah. You have to strongly define your why. It has to be deeper than surface level. So that means not just about the money, not just about the challenge, and not just about your physical appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, just don't get yourself down. Whether you win or not, you're going to have the opportunity to change your life. And that's a big freaking deal. So, questions. My favorite part, because that means that it's almost done. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying this. So I'm just exhausted. I don't know why I'm struggling today.
It's a full moon. Was it tomorrow? Tomorrow's a full moon.
Become a werewolf.
Any questions, guys?
I will say that I started First Form's hair, skin, and nails today because I was getting grief about my beard. And like First Form has like a bunch of guys with like the best beards known to man. And they absolutely swear by collagen and hair, skin, and nails. So I said, F it, I'm getting me some hair, skin, and nails. And so I took a big close up of my beard on day one. So I'm going to see what happens with one bottle of hair, skin, and nails. And so I will give you ladies an awesome review. I love hair, skin, and nails from a supplement level. I suggest that for a lot of, if you can't afford Microfactor, obviously I would love for you to afford Microfactor, but if you can't, hair, skin, and nails does have some great vitamins and minerals in it that actually optimize your thyroid and your metabolism and get the benefits of awesome hair, skin, and nails. So now my hair ain't coming back, but maybe if I grow my beard long enough, I can like comb it over. I don't know. Might need a lot more hair, skin, and nails and collagen for that. So, however, they do have
it just makes you feel good.
Yeah, they do have awesome. The new collagen flavors are phenomenal. One of the sponsored trainers I'm really good friends with, actually, she takes like low-fat Cool Whip, and she mixes the collagen, the new fruity-based collagen, and then puts on rice cakes. She says it tastes phenomenal. And I was like, I've never in a million years would have thought of doing that. But it's much more, obviously the coffee flavors are going to be great for coffee, like French vanilla, but never thought about making a whip collagen for rice cakes and fruits and veggies and stuff like she does.
Sounds bomb though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just remember, if you do collagen, you have to hit your protein goal first before collagen will actually benefit. I know that sounds crazy, but collagen is terrible for muscle growth. It is missing key amino acids for muscle. And so if you're not eating enough protein and you're supplementing with collagen, collagen will try to repair the muscle and it'll do a shitty job because collagen's for hair, skin, nails, and bones and ligaments and cartilage. does not have the amino acids necessary for muscle. And so it'll try, but you'll waste it. And so if you actually want it to be used for hair, skin, and nails and other benefits, you really need to make sure you hit your protein goal without it and then include collagen on top. That's how you're going to optimize it. Yeah. It's an expensive supplement that works really well, but you need to make sure that you're using it for the right reasons. So and you can just put in a chat or you can unmute yourself, who learned some things tonight? Was this worthwhile? Should we do it more? I see Jamie's hand up, so I'll take it. We got Jamie on the West Coast, so she's from LA, so she's fancy. Amanda, absolutely. Courtney, yes, that's what we want to hear, right? Because guys, here's the deal. Like Margaret and I will do this as often as we can, as long as people are willing to listen to me rant and rave for an hour and a half. We will totally do it. And we want to get you all the best results possible. We want you to stay motivated. We want you to potentially win the money or change your life. I said this earlier, okay? And this is a point. I'll ask your question. Dustin, what do you do about loose skin? So in one of the accountability groups I have with my clients, someone was talking about loose skin and how demotivating it is that they don't even want to lose weight because they're afraid of having loose skin. And I understand, guys. I mean, I know I'm a dude, but I do understand. I sympathize. I understand. That's demoralizing. You're going to lose all this weight, and the benefit of losing all this weight is to have loose skin. Guys, if you have 70 pounds to lose and you lose 70 pounds, you gain probably 10 to 15 years on your life. Literally, 10 to 15 years on your life. You helped with reducing the chances of having diabetes and early strokes and early heart attacks and so many chronic health conditions, that if having loose skin is what you're worried about and not living an extra 10 to 15 years, you have your priorities wrong. Guys, you will save so much on future medical bills and on dieting on the right foods and not eating out all the time that you can pay for 1 million tummy tucks. You can get a boob job. You can get your hips done, whatever you want to do. You're going to save so much money on chronic medical bills and prescriptions and everything else that it'll be worth it. And guys, if that's your goal, was like, hey, you know what? If I lose 70 pounds, I'm going to have some plastic surgery. Freaking do it. You deserve it. I mean, God, rock that body, right? I mean, and so you got to look at the big picture. Don't be thinking like, oh God, I may have loose skin. You may not. Right? You may not. If you eat enough protein and you train and use resistance and you drink enough water and you use collagen and you lotion up great every night, there's a good chance that the skin elasticity will shrink with you and you won't have that much loose skin. But if you do, you just gain 10 years on your life. You're going to be able to chase your kids and grandkids when before you may not have been able to chase either, right? Think of the big picture. And if you need to have a boob job afterwards, get a boob job afterwards. You deserve it.
So you deserve it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if you're going to make that big a lifestyle change and change your life forever because you went on a health kick and you did awesome, take care of yourself, right? Trust me, you will save tens of thousands of dollars on future health bills. Seriously, if you lose 70 pounds, that's probably 100 to 200,000 in future medical costs that you have reduced. Seriously. And so you deserve it, right? So don't ever think that, oh my, if I lose weight, don't let it be an excuse. That's all I'm saying. If you're afraid of having loose skin, take that out of your head. Be afraid of not being there for your grandkids. That's where I would replace that with.
Well, and that goes into like your why needs to be deeper than surface level. And I feel like, I feel like tonight, like I want all y'all to think about that. Like, what is your why? Again, not surface level. And let us know, like, tell us what it is tomorrow, but think about it tonight.
Yeah. And actually one thing that I also challenge, and most of my elite clients know this, like try to find somebody that has a similar body style as you on Instagram or Facebook. No, it's got to be similar. If you have a wide hip structure, don't try to find Paris Hilton, right? Don't do that, obviously, but try to find somebody with a similar body style as you that you could be like, all right, this is kind of what I'm shooting for. And I know, Courtney and Travis and a few of you all have sent me these people. Allie has, and like, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking for. And make that a goal. Make it like, hey, look, this is my goal for whether it's next year or the year after. My goal is it's going to be you. You're going to be you. You're not going to be somebody else, but at least have it as a motivating factor. And I know, I think it's a good way to keep your motivation up and add another level of what your why is, right? Are you doing it for your kids? Are you doing it for yourself? You're doing it for your dog, whatever it is, but also have, this is my goal too, and I know Margaret and I have goals and with our physiques and our health and our careers and everything else. So I love goals. I love small goals. I love big goals. I like intermediate goals. Set goals, smash goals, set new goals.
Oh, and for the love of God, if there's someone on Instagram that you compare yourself to and they do not have your body type, please delete them and never follow them again. Don't. It'll completely mess up your whole mentality.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah. So, and nobody wants to look like Paris Hilton anyway. God, I watched that tape 20 years ago. Nobody wanted to see it. Sorry, that was off the cuff. But Travis knows what I'm talking about. His video's not on, but he knows what I'm saying. But nobody likes that. Come on, guys. Luckily, 2020 is so much better than like the thigh gaps of 5-10 years ago. It's like, who wants to look like that? That's freaking terrible.
No.
I'm kidding. If you have a thigh gap, I'm sorry. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying that that's not my style. So.
Yeah, and it's not good for your mental health if you're comparing yourself to somebody who doesn't have your body type. Like, you can never look like them. Like, what are you doing?
Travis, I'm with you. Yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I'll take your money. That's about it, though. Crazy story. Airbnb, who owns absolutely no hotel rooms, is worth 3 times the amount of Hilton hotels that actually owns real estate and actual rooms. So I saw that stat recently and I'm like, man, that's crazy. A non-hotel website that lets you rent other people's properties, which owns almost no real estate, is worth like 3 or 5 times more than Hilton, who actually does own real estate. Crazy. But they got a good thing. I just rented a awesome condo in Cocoa Beach, Florida for a couple months, and I saved a killing. Great. Use Airbnb. It's awesome.
Where it's at. Airbnbs are the way to go.
That was the first time I've ever used it. I was always like creeped out by it. And I'm like, I guess they are legitimate. So if I get like killed, it's going to be an awesome serial killer movie. So, it'll be a great story. Sell my rights. I'm cool with it. Now Christina's in the other room going, should we really go to Cocoa Beach?
Don't put that in her head.
It's crazy though. Like condos on the beach for like $100 a night, and like the El Cheapo hotels are $150 a night. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I just heard Christina. I swear to God, if we get murdered, yeah. Before we were worried about COVID, now we're worried about serial killers. So, All right, I need 2 questions, and you all can go. Ask 2 questions. Margaret doesn't count, and Christina doesn't count.
Crickets. Maybe that's a good thing. That means we answered all of them.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
That or they're asleep and they're like, holy shit, Dustin talked for an hour. Hey, somebody just dropped off. So
it was Christina.
It was Christina. Way to go. My own wife ran away from us. So, well, Margaret and I thoroughly appreciate it. We did record this, so you're going to get a newsletter tomorrow or the next day. And it'll, for everybody that registered for this, you'll get a newsletter that just says, hey, if you'd like to watch it again. And I'll summarize some tips from me and Margaret and give you all some inciting information to research and look up. But again, feel free to tag both of us in posts on Facebook or Instagram. Feel free, please follow each other's stories. I think that's a big thing, guys. I mean, definitely, I'm all about girl power. Sorry, Travis. But it's very, very motivating for women to support women. And I don't think we see that enough in this industry. So make sure you support each other, comment on each other, like each other's posts, share each other's posts, keep that motivation up, guys, because, you're on your journey. And I know, I won't say their name. But anyway, there's somebody on here that's lost over 30 pounds in the last 30 days. Just phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Insane, right? And who knows that just one like or comment on her story might motivate her to do it again, right? And just keep that fire going. But also one day of just having those thoughts, and maybe they didn't lose weight this week, and now they're starting to have second thoughts, and they're like, oh man, is this really worth it? Am I going to lose weight? Maybe your one like and comment is like, okay, my fire's back. I can tell you, like when one of my friends or a good trainer friend of mine comments and says, dude, you're looking jacked or you're doing so well, makes you feel a little bit better, right? And it makes you keep that fire a little bit. So support each other. You know, we do a lot of accountability groups in ours. So we put you in an accountability group with people with like goals so that we're constantly helping each other throughout the process. But whether you're her client or my client or her, whatever, whether she's your coach or I'm your coach, include us, tag us, support us. We'll support each other. We'll make sure.
Yeah. Tag me and I'll put you on my story. I don't care if I'm your coach or not.
Yeah. And she's kind of famous. So actually I have more followers than her, but I promise you when she makes a post, she'll get like 300 more likes than me. So, but I got more followers. They just don't. How'd
you get those followers? What'd you do?
Doing, being a great trainer.
You like doing work? That's how.
It took a long time. I've had Instagram forever. And literally the only reason I have over 5,000 followers is because I've become a sponsored trainer and started teaching classes for First Form. So every Legionnaire in the world's like, ooh, I'm going to follow Dustin because he's important. But then they don't like and comment on my shit. So
rude.
Yeah, so rude. If I was a girl, they would. I'm just kidding. Maybe. I'm not gonna lie. There's one specific person on that works for First Form, and I'm kidding, sort of. But I tag him in every single thing because he will never comment on my post. But other sponsored trainers will tag him also, especially female trainers, and he will like and comment on every single post. So I do it out of spite now. I'm like, damn it, I'm going to keep tagging you until you
see my shit.
Yeah, just comment. And we're bros. Like we're buddies. Yeah. So I think at this point he does it out of spite. He's just like, I'm not even gonna post. But damn it, I'm watching you. I know if you're posting. Jamie, if I see you start commenting on Mo's stuff and not mine, we're gonna be in trouble.
Jamie, stick with the females.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Oh, look at that puppy. I'm tired of looking at you. Look at that puppy. Oh gosh.
Oh.
You're met Kitty. Come here real quick. You gotta see this. It's a Spud McKenzie, right? He's old enough for Spud McKenzie. He was the logo for Bud Light back in like the 80s and 90s. Oh, and we got our dog too. Hold on. All right, look at.
That's
Jamie.
actually how I figured out how old people are. If they say she's the target dog, they're young.
Oh my gosh! I thought it. Okay,
Spud McKenzie, they're about my age.
On here.
Yeah, it's a
and if it's
yeah.
Adam's dog, they're elderly.
When I was a kid, this was like in the late 80s, I had a Spuds McKenzie shirt. And it was just funny that you could buy Budweiser marketing for kids in the 80s. So it was just like a kid's small T-shirt with Spuds McKenzie on it. And there's our sweet boxer girl.
Just hold it like a baby.
She's a big old baby. Oh. I thought Jonathan's dog made an appearance too. Your dog's so cute.
Yeah, this is our Frankie boxer. He's got scars all over because he keeps kicking cancer's ass. But she's a good old girl. She's got that white face now. She used to be.
We don't deserve dogs.
She's your mascot.
Yeah, she's my mascot. When you get the new Advanced Nutrition Solutions shirt, you get Sicky flexing. So.
Oh gosh, you're fucking even.
Oh, and down.
Yeah,
Now she wants to show off our Yorkie, so you get to see the Hitler of our house. I'm part Jew, so I can say that. like 2%, but it counts. And there's our Yorkie. He's 6 months older than the boxer, but he has our boxer's missing part of her ear because of him. She when they were puppies, he grabbed her right here, and she's now missing a chunk of her ear. He is an asshole. And this is still recording, but anyway, he is a fuck.
Dogs are life.
He has food right here when he dog food. Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. I was on a call with First Form. This was like 2 or 3 months ago when I first got the job. And so I'm talking, and the dogs decided to fight underneath my feet. And next thing I know, I have a selfie light right here, and they turned it off And so my whole screen goes dark because Zoom couldn't see me anymore without the light. And I'm like, hold on. And like JC, one of the guys at First Form's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I have a dog fight underneath my feet, but you know, it's all good. No one cares. I would have definitely called it the target dog. Yeah, Courtney, you're young. You got to look up Spuds McKenzie. He was a cool dog. Margaret's dog has big balls. That's what I just heard from the other room.
Actually, fun fact,
He does.
Spuds McKenzie was a female.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know.
And Spuds McKenzie actually died of kidney disease from drinking. True story.
Wait a minute.
So don't feed your dogs Budweiser.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. At least supplement with milk thistle or I don't know. Yeah. Beer, yeah. But yeah, I was obsessed with Spuds McKenzie in the 80s. Like I was obsessed. My grandpa had a pontoon boat, and I would always wear my Spuds McKenzie shirt because it was like neon blue or something crazy. Yeah, the 80s were great. Like it was just a different time. All right, guys, we definitely appreciate you having us for an hour and 47 minutes on your Wednesday night. So hopefully you learned something. If you didn't, I'm sorry, but at least you maybe possibly laughed a few times. So that's worst case scenario. You may have chuckled or you may hate me. Either way, that's fine. Margaret will take care of you if you're tired of listening to me. So thank you so much. We'll send you the recording. Please invite people to our groups, right? We're always looking to help more and more people. We definitely appreciate it. I know I'm having a drawing for a $100 First Form gift card at the end of the month for referring people. So feel free to refer them to our group. And if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. So have a good night. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Love you.